Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. I am tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Back in 2004, Vacheron launched the second generation Overseas sports watch, and in 2009 it launched the model you see right here. This is the Overseas self-winding, nicknamed the Deep Stream. It was a nickname coined during the development of the model and later adopted unofficially by enthusiasts of the brand. What makes it special is that it features a combination of a media-blasted titanium bezel on a stainless steel case. It's 42 millimeters in diameter. It's quite thin at only 9.9 millimeters thick and 50.8 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip across the wrist. Open up the deployant clasp. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference. You get a good sense of how it wears. Super flat, easily sliding underneath the cuff. You can see how the case lugs thrust downward. They're shaped and they're angled, which means that this watch fits even smaller than its lug-to-lug dimension suggests. I could recommend it for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference, and you'll note that it will fit underneath the cuff. It's super light, being steel, yes, but also titanium, sapphire, and rubber. It's got a wieldiness becoming of a sports watch. This is a factory strap. It's one of several rarely seen Vacheron factory strap options, and it transforms the watch, giving it an airy, summery, hot weather, tropical vacation watch kind of look. Now you can see that it's still integrated into the taper of the lugs, both when viewed in profile and when viewed from the top. It's a media blast type finish, but they don't media blast rubber, so it's a matte finish as molded, and then you can see the bevel of the lug continues down the shoulder with the character line molded into the flank, and you can see that little Maltese cross motif where it joins the case flank. It thins out considerably. You can see how material has been removed from the underside on both sides to make the strap more pliant and comfortable. Another Vacheron Maltese cross motif on the buckle. It is a twin trigger release, so you have to press both sides for it to pop open. Double folding clasp. You can see a Maltese cross again. That is the symbol of the company if you're wondering why we keep seeing it. You will note one feature of the second generation Overseas is that the buckle is always fixed with a screw, so it can't pull through and cause you to drop your watch. The case is steel, the clasp is steel, the bezel is titanium. The case is nicely hand finished. You can see the flanks are polished, the lug hoods are satinated, and then there's this lovely rolled bevel that runs from end to end on both sides. The strap is held to the case using screws and bars, which costs a bit more than spring bars, but it's also more secure. It's what I like to see. Now you can see the bezel sits atop the case, and it is media blasted all the way around to give it a textural contrast. We've got polish, media blast, and satin here. And you can also see that the color of the material is distinct from the steel. You can also see that that Maltese cross motif recurs as a serration pattern around the bezel, and it's also on the screw-down crown. The watch has 150-meter water resistance, which is solidly more than most standard Nautilus, Aquanaut, and Royal Oak models. Even the Offshore only exceeds this model in its diver form, which is 300 meters. So 150 is a lot here. It's also anti-magnetic, as you could see on the dial. There's a soft iron cage around the movement, paramagnetic, that helps to bend magnetic field lines around the escapement and the hairspring. 25,000 ampere per meter is the resistance level. Now the dial is dished with a Reho outboard that acts as a scale for reading minutes and seconds. You can see that the center of the dial is an anthracite metallic sunburst, and then we have applique quarter Arabic numerals, the Maltese cross logo, and then individual indices. The hands have been blackened so that for the most part you only read the luminescent sections against the dial base. There is plenty of lume, make no mistake on that front. And then on the reverse side, we see the image of the Italian naval training vessel Amerigo Vespucci. Well, unofficially, that was the image basis for this ship. You can see several different types of finish. There's polish on the waves in the ship. There's a chiseled or hammered pattern around the ship itself. Then we have a radial satin grain on this ring that encircles the ship, and then a circumferential brushed pattern at the outermost. Underneath, we have a Vacheron caliber 1226. It's based on a JLC 899. Lecoultre movements in Vacheron watches, that's a tradition that dates back to the 19th century. It's well established. It helps this watch to be as thin as it is. It is a unidirectional automatic winder with ceramic rotor bearings, a 40-hour power reserve, a 4 Hz beat rate, 36 pivot joules, a robust shock-resistant free-sprung architecture, and it has both hacking seconds and a quick set date, in addition to conventionally beautiful finishing. It is a good-looking movement in the classical sense, so though you cannot see it, rest assured it is a high horology movement inside this high horology watch. It fits. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.